Okay, we've got our top three finishers from today's Stock 1000 race here at Brainerd International Raceway. Our winner, Hayden Gillum. Second place, Benjamin Smith. And third place, Ashton Yates. We'll get started with Ashton. It hasn't been the best of starts to your season. We only have one round of the Stock 1000 done, but it's just not what we've expected from you, and I know it's not what you've expected from yourself. So this has got to help that a little bit.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough start. Just getting the bike dialed in, not much testing, and having a few problems with it, and using the race weekends are testing pretty much this year. But we finally got something figured out, and I'm comfortable this weekend and been rolling around pretty good. And now we're just trying to shave off a few tenths here and there, making changes, and try to get up there or do our best to stay with Hayden if we can. Or get up there and stay on the podium every weekend if that's possible from now on. But yeah, we're just working at it, doing our best.
All right. Well, thank you and congrats. Second place today, Benjamin Smith. It's his second podium of the season. Again, this is only the second round, so not so bad of a start for you. You had a battle on your hands, but you came out on top.
Yeah, it was definitely a battle. Plan was pretty straightforward, just get a start. I got a good start, and honestly, I was right on Hayden's rear wheel for about 4 corners. And then, I'm searching. I'm trying to figure out what that last little step is that we need to just be closer over race distance. I think we got a little bit closer that time, but I knew that I was going to have those guys too. Ashton and Jason were right there the whole time. I mean, I could feel them breathing down my neck the entire race. Bike felt good. A couple little things I think could be better for tomorrow. We'll go back to the drawing board there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a super fun race. I feel like by the time I looked how many laps were left, there were only 2 laps left, so it felt like it went by pretty quick. But yeah, I mean, hats off to these guys. Everyone's riding really well. I know everybody dropped the pace during that race. So yeah, go back to the drawing board and see if we can get a little closer.
Is there certain places where he's faster, or is it just little bits everywhere?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. I mean, we've been looking all weekend at sector times, and for me, clearly, like, I'm losing a lot to, Hayden specifically in sector 1. I think there's only so much that I can do there. I'm trying my best. I think there might be a couple things that we can help that with, but it's just a little bit everywhere. It's during that race, it didn't feel like it was any massive, this corner in particular, I was losing a bunch of time, just little bits everywhere. At that pace that I'm pushing at, I'm not going to say that I rode a clean race, but one mistake, and that you can't afford that when you're trying to chase down guys like this. So it's just putting all the pieces together and just chipping away at it.
Okay, well, thank you. Our winner today for the third time this season out of 3 races, so he's off to a perfect start, 75 points. This is obviously a track that you really like and you feel comfortable. I mean, you've been fast on the bagger, you've been fast on this. What is it about this place that makes you so successful here?
I like tracks that have just the flow, like stop and go. MotoAmerica is not a good track for me. Road Atlanta, I tend to struggle a little bit. The kind of point and shoot tracks I struggle with. For some reason, I feel like I'm good on the brakes, but then I always seem to mess up the exit. And so this place doesn't have much of that. Everything flows together really good. Like turn 1 and 2 is fun. These are 2 of my favorite corners in the world. Like they're just it's sweet because you just go in, roll out of it for a second, and then you're back to pin. So it's a fun track. It's a fun layout. For whatever reason, I go good here, and I knew coming into this weekend it was kind of like going to Barber. I know I go really good at Barber, and I know these guys are going to be gunning for it. So these weekends I got to take what I can get and capitalize on the confidence that I've got coming in. And because, whenever we get to the Ridge and Laguna, I know those tracks, Laguna specifically, I go good there, but I'm not great there. I don't have a great track record there. And so I'm trying to just capitalize at the tracks that I know are good for me and hopefully not have to bend it at the other tracks.
I think on the podium, I heard you say, like, you got out front and then you start thinking about maybe making the bike better. I mean,
yeah.
Do you really need to make it better?
The big the bike is really, really good. It's obviously it's really good. I've gone faster everywhere I've gone than I've ever gone at the other tracks. So the bike is really good and it works really well. I'm just having little issues, like a little bit of chatter on the front end that I can't seem to get rid of. And so trying to, whenever we go to the Ridge, I'll be racing Superbike. And so I'm kind of trying to get the bike better for whenever we race Superbike with those guys. And so like no matter what, these guys would be the same way. If you're out front, even if you're out front by a little bit or a lot, like you're still trying to make the bike better, because the better the bike is, the easier you can ride. Like you don't have to ride over your head and make little mistakes. Like I had a couple little moments on the front end, and it's frustrating because I know I've got a little bit more in it, but you can't really afford to push that hard and make those mistakes like what Ben said.
Speaking of moments on the front end, Keith, how about that baggers? I mean, was that as close as it looked from here? We were scared for you.
It was a pretty good one. I did it last year on the 1,000 in there, and so I know what the feeling is, and it's not a good feeling. As soon as that happened, I rolled out of it. I was like, okay, we're pulling in the pits. We don't need to do that. Not in turn 2.
Okay, any questions? Thank you.